Wouldn't it be great that we trigger all of YouTube's algorithms as a whole, right? I mean, as we do already with YouTube SEO, where we trigger the search algorithm, I wonder, can we do similar things that we actively trigger other algorithms like suggested videos and so on as well? So let's dive into that. All that we know about the algorithms, let's think about what we can do in order to trigger them. This is now the best of the live stream that we did last week. So let's get started. As you probably know, with the YouTube SEO and the keyword research tool that I built, we pretty much have it covered for the YouTube search algorithm. It works really well. We know the best practices of YouTube SEO bring us far. Small and large channels can apply it to grow their channels. It's kind of a done deal, so to say. And I think a half a year back or so, I extended the keyword tool to include Google search as well, which is not a YouTube algorithm, obviously, but also an algorithm that would be very important for us. And it turns out with the YouTube SEO and a little bit of extra looking at the Google search results, we can also trigger, so to say, the Google search algorithm by then effectively having our videos rank in the video carousel on the Google search results. And that works pretty well as well already. I actually did a study. I think I never shared it actually. But when I built this Google SEO support into the tool, I did a study of the users that I had back then. It turned out that most automatically rank on Google as well. So my data showed that people who do really well in YouTube search naturally also do really well in Google. So this is kind of, even though they are open questions, but it is a natural progression to extend how we trigger algorithms. So far, that's the whole, SEO thinking there. But then we start to get issues with our SEO thinking because all the other algorithms, notifications, subscriptions, home, suggested, trending, did I miss anything? No, I think that was it. Those all work in a different way. So our SEO thinking does help us in general to get promoted in the other algorithms as well. I will explain a little bit more about that later on. But the standard SEO thinking just doesn't apply for the other algorithms. So we have to rethink what are the triggers in order to trigger all those different algorithms. Some of you who are part of the Morningfame Early Access program already have access to the algorithm tab. This is a good way to think about the different algorithms. YouTube search, we talked about it. Google search is naturally videos who do well in YouTube search tend to do well in Google search as well. But more important for suggested videos as well as for home, these are the other two algorithms that are the most important algorithms in YouTube. Yeah, as I showed before, here, small as well as large channels, most of their traffic come from YouTube search, home, and suggested. Yeah, all the other algorithms are not too important. So if you want to focus on growing your channel, focus on those three algorithms. Yeah, because the other algorithms don't really make a big difference. And Carry Trainer, interesting. You have a little over 50% suggested, 30% browse. Browse, by the way, is home and subscriptions and a little bit more. Yeah, most of it is usually home, so that's good. And only 5% from search. You know what? You should look a little bit more into how you can optimize your videos for SEO, because the interesting part is also part of the algorithm series I explained that I found out that the overlap between those three algorithms, yeah, is oftentimes via optimized videos in search. So we actually have a statement, official statement from a white paper from Google about the recommendation system. That would be the home and the suggested videos algorithm, where it states that if our video does well in search, then the chance is higher that it also will do well in home and suggested. So Carrie Trainer, if you optimize your videos more for search, then the chance is very high that you will also increase your suggested videos and home traffic as well at the same time. That leads naturally into the next topic, active subscribers. So the ways, just to sum it up, right? We have YouTube search, YouTube SEO for that to actively trigger that. And that also helps us to do better in home and suggested. So with YouTube SEO, you have 3 birds with 1 stone, so to say. The most important 3 algorithms do get triggered via YouTube SEO. So that's great. But for home and suggested, we need more ways to also trigger those algorithms. In addition, additional ways to trigger those algorithms besides YouTube SEO. And the one most important part of it, and I can't stress that enough, is active subscribers. It is truly important to focus on them. And if you are a Morningfame user, then you can go to the Velocity tab. And this top section here, with the gray background, is dedicated to active subscribers. For example, I estimate how many active subscribers you have. I have 6,500 subscribers in total, and roughly 10% of them are people who are, so to say, active subscribers. Those are people who keep coming back to watch my new videos. And that is really great, I explain a little bit more about those people here when you click the I button. But most importantly, you see here how this number evolves over time. And I'm happy to see actually that my number keeps growing and growing. The idea, is to motivate people to keep coming back. And the good subscriber experience helps here a lot. When you click here the button, I just click this button here. And what I did here is a top 10 list to see which video did the best for your subscribers. And happily, I see that my recent algorithm series that I did, this is 1 episode of it, that's the 2nd episode, that is also 1 episode. They all do really well for my subscribers. So you guys really enjoy it, and that's a good sign. And I will continue to do those algorithm series with all those studies included there to understand how we can actively trigger those algorithms. And again, it is really important to have a lot of active subscribers because they drive the initial views of your videos. They are the first to watch your videos. And that's also the reason why I put this section here about the active subscribers into the Velocity tab, because they are the most important people to drive up the initial views of your videos. This view velocity, this going up in the beginning, is mostly your active subscribers. And the reason why it's so important, and that's also what I studied as part of the algorithm series, is that active subscribers not only drive your views, drive your watch time and all that, gives you a minimum amount of views for each video that you upload, because active subscribers are happy about your content. But if there are people who are really enjoying your videos, and keep coming back, then obviously if a new person discovers your video, the chance is high that this new person enjoys your videos as well, because you have basically proof that you do great videos, because otherwise if you wouldn't do great videos, then your subscribers wouldn't keep coming back, right? I mean, it's simple as that. That's human psychology. I don't know how to call it. It's natural. It has nothing to do with YouTube. If you do something great, then they keep coming back because they want more of your great stuff that you do, right? And YouTube knows that, and the algorithms are designed according to that. They are designed to look at how are your initial viewers, which are usually mostly your active subscribers, how are they enjoying your videos? And if they enjoy that well, then they say, all right, there are people who enjoy it. Now I have to show it to more people, similar people, because chances are that they will enjoy it too. And then hence they will like YouTube as a whole platform because it recommended great videos to them. And that's the reason for people to keep coming back every day and watch YouTube, right? So it all ties together. So you, as your channel, play a role into making YouTube a great platform for viewers to come back. And ideally, you want the viewers not only to come back to YouTube, but also to come back to your channel. And if you do great content, then that works. And the algorithms are designed this way. So they look at your first initial viewers, and if they enjoy the video, then they promote it to more people. And if those more people enjoy it again, then they promote it to even more people, and so on and so on. Yeah, that's how it works. Not so much for YouTube search, even though it is to an extent true there as well. But also, this what I just explained, that is exactly how home and suggested videos do work. The interesting part is, it really surprised me that the suggested videos algorithm apparently depends on your active subscribers. The big channels turned out to get, via suggested videos, a surprising amount of views from their active subscribers. Yeah, I thought that the more your channel grows, the less important your active subscribers become. They are certainly very important for small channels because you somehow have to bootstrap your channel, and having your core fan base in the beginning really makes that work. But the big channels, the portion of views they get via suggested videos increased for active subscribers. So that means that suggested videos seems to require for big channels, the channel owner has to really understand how to get their subscribers back to watch the new videos. And it becomes even more important the more your channel grows. So active subscribers, to have them is not only important to bootstrap the growth of your channel, but it becomes more and more important the more you grow to keep growing your channels, to keep driving a lot of traffic. You know, the two triggers for home and suggested are YouTube SEO as well as active subscribers. Super important. So far we know, yeah? And again, let's circle back what I said in the beginning. We already actively trigger the YouTube search algorithm using YouTube SEO. But for the other algorithms, home and suggested in particular, the YouTube SEO thinking does not apply in the same way. Those two algorithms work completely different, yeah? Especially because what I just explained, this snowball effect, yeah, of the groups showing it to the groups. This is something that how home and suggested works. And you realize I'm not talking about metadata here, which is so important for YouTube SEO, right? I'm not talking about metadata. So it's a different kind of thinking. But still, because if a video does well in YouTube search, home and suggested do with a high chance pick up your video as well as in home and suggested. So YouTube in SEO indirectly also triggers home and suggested, as well as, and active subscribers is the way to trigger home and suggested as well. This is the way you trigger those algorithms. And obviously, that is a completely different thinking here. We have to just understand that. All right, there seems to be a discussion going on between you, which is a really good discussion. And that would be the third trigger for especially suggested videos, the suggested videos algorithm, but also I'm not sure to what extent, yeah, home as well. Home and suggested videos are very similar, but still they are, in a sense, a little bit different. But binge watching your content, binge watching, is one additional key, the third key to triggering suggested videos. Yeah. By the way, just to give you an understanding, as you all know, I do this algorithm series on this channel right now. And I'm really looking into what other series I can do as well. Because, series and people binge watching this series is truly important on YouTube to trigger suggested videos, especially. And if you look at the algorithm tab, again, people who are in the early access program have access to it already. You see here a portion link content. Link content is not a algorithm from YouTube, but I'm including it here because it's a mix of mechanisms that you use, end screens, cards, and all that, playlists, obviously. All these mechanisms that help us set up series so that people can binge watch them. And that is the reason why I explicitly have link content here as well, because we want to study that more. And happily, and that is really important, we see here that videos that I have in series benefit from link content a lot. This video is, for example, a second episode of a series where this video is the first episode. So this one is getting views via the end screen from this one. This one gets views from elsewhere. You can't see where it's coming from yet, but that will be part of the algorithm tab in the future once I continue developing it. But anyway, I know that because I know my channel, that this one gets a lot of views from this one because it's a series. So the binge watching aspect is already in place here. And actually, can we see that? Very great to see here. It's not much yet, 5 views at most in one day. So it's really not much here. It's not really working. I didn't figure it out, this whole binge watching aspect on YouTube yet, quite frankly, but I'm starting to make it work. And I'm so happy to see it here because trending is actually the previous episode in the algorithm series. The last one before this live stream. As well as this one, I think that was the one before the trending episode. Number 7, number 6. And those benefit from link content because in each episode before that, I have an end screen and I have a pitch and then the end card that brings people to the next episode in this series. And that is something that works for suggested videos very well. Binge watching content makes suggested videos just get triggered. And here I see that my setup for binge watching the series works as I get views via link content. And of course, let's look at suggested videos itself because we should see that getting triggered because of that. By the way, here are the other episodes, 3 other episodes in link content. That got the views because people binge watched this algorithm series. That's the first episode, by the way. Also one episode really working out, although there's very few views at this point. But here, suggested videos, You do this binge watching. This is one part. I want you to understand what trigger really means, Trigger means that you do something, people engage with your videos, in this case, binge watching your videos, which we see here above in the link content section. And then because of that, the suggested video algorithm sees what is happening there, gets those signals of people binge watching your series, and then decides, oh, that's a cool video. I should promote it to more people. And let's see if I am true to what I say. Great. Here, for example, this video gets additional views from suggested videos because this is the second episode of the algorithm series. This video got via link content from the first episode, views via the end screen. Suggested video picked that up and promoted this episode to even more people. The suggested videos algorithm got triggered. And here is the third episode. It got also triggered here, which is really great. Let's see. Here we have the 7th episode of my algorithm series. So you can see here, again, one of this, these two are also from the algorithm series. It's not much at this point, yeah? I have to make it really efficient at this point, but it's starting to work. People binge watch my series a little bit and suggested videos gets triggered, yeah? The third trigger, how you make actively triggering suggested videos. Interesting, right? And at this point you see we're so far beyond the regular YouTube SEO thinking, optimizing your metadata. There are additional ways to actively trigger those algorithms. And the more I look at the data, the more proof I get from this, yeah? It's not only YouTube SEO that triggers home and suggested, it's also your active subscribers, it's also the binge watching of your series that makes triggering those additional algorithms, home and suggested videos. So when you do this, you get more and more successful in those algorithms as well, and along the way grow your channel, right? Wow, what a great stream, right? This best of, I hope you learned a lot. I referenced a lot the algorithm series that I'm doing right now. If you didn't watch it yet from the beginning, feel free to do that here. And of course, this algorithm has to continue on this series. And if the next episode is already out, then you can watch it here. And if not, subscribe here and ring the bell, because then you get notified as soon as it's out. I bet it will be really great. Cheers, my friends.